the better carries late game, in my opinion. But these 3 heroes in the side of Secret, if they maintain a net worth lead, they can still go 30, 35 minutes and feel good.
They smoked down, but a good job by Gambit. They knew something was up. They just end up leading. Maybe they even saw the smoke, because I knew it was on the high ground, and there is a ward there from Radiant. Maybe not, though. Oh, Puppey didn't quite catch Dream there.
Better get
ready.
ready.
They will be able to make it out. And now they see. They have the sentry on the high ground. They've got a little bit of vision on Yapster, and they're just going to back up.
It's really telling how much they're giving to their cores. These supports aren't hitting any creeps at all. XS Vampire's been stuck in like the same area, like reasonably close to Spirit Vessel, but you know the BKBs are so much more important that he's not allowed to hit any creeps. It's like one of his cores scolds him as soon as he goes for an easy camp or something.
And you see that Dream runs right over next to him. Will take. They do get the outpost, so both teams getting a good chunk of experience, and they might. X-Vampire is down bottom. He is level 10 now. Matumba Man, Radiance gonna fly out just now. There it is. Bolas go down. Vampire, he's in trouble. Has 2 Fire Emblem charges. Doesn't want to just use them to pop the glyph. He's just trying to bait it out. Won't get silenced, and he's gone.
That is kind of the nice part of it about Ember Spirit. His downfall in this game would be that he doesn't add his monster team fight. Like, there's no big control or anything, but he is a pretty potent split pusher as long as he doesn't activate his flank guard. Right? In this game, like, he can kind of deal with some creeps, pull them off of the tower or something, because they don't have any sort of, like, blink stun.
Yes.
So we see both teams go shred through towers, but Puppey, gets the Glimmer. K-Pop do anything. There's going to be the Carapace. They lock him down. Vampire will pop the dust. They see Puppey now. Gets hit by the Melt Ray. It's not enough. Goodbye again, Blizzy. Necro ulted, and they will save their tier 2 tower. Bottom will slowly get chunked by a siege unit, so Secret, even though it felt like Gambit, they were making some nice moves, as you talked about. They're just keeping the steady, like, 4 to 5K lead the entire time.
I would like them to set up sentries a little bit more around these areas that they look to fight, because they now have their BKBs, right? So they feel like, okay, we can take some team fights against Secret if we set it up correctly. They need to set up sentries to protect this Bat Rider more.
Down goes Vampire. He even tries to eat a mango to make it out. No man, unfortunately, just goes down. And well, that's two quick deaths right after that top push. See TA.
Smoke up. This is a really big kill if they can find it. Right, this Huskar, Nisha is entirely alone. With the Fiend's Grip and this burst damage from GPK, they should have this kill.
He should. Oh, the miss. The Heaven's Halberd misses. He's going to be able to pop it. No, he BKBs right before, and the Brain Sap, well, magic damage does get him, and they're going to try to take him themselves. Zai slows both of them down. GPK's BKB just now wore off. He doesn't have a blink anyway, so he couldn't blink away. Blizzy's here now, pushes Zai back. Uh-oh. He has the Guardian Greaves, pops some 21 charges as well, gets slowed. He's baiting him in. There's going to be the stun. Brain Sap's there and Feeble on him. Pops the one. Has a Death Pulse in one. Won't matter. Zai goes down. Matumba Man just trying to do anything he can, but he is just an Abba with the Radiance. A lot of damage if he can get on top of people, but he can. And they'll just have to back out. It's a 3v5 fight. And Vampire, he wants one. Even just Puppey would be a nice pickup. Blizzy does use his dust, doesn't find anyone. Instead, he gets turned around on. Will the Radiance burn be enough? Oh, the Hadouken from Puppey's creep is. There's the BKB pop by Dream. Has his ulti. He's just going to let it rip. Matumba Man will heal up. Has his ulti. Yapster, they don't have detection because they already used their one dust. And now, Matumba Man, he could be in trouble. A lot of misses again from this Radiance. And they're just turning on the Luna. I can't believe they're going to lose this 3v5 fight. That was a straight up 3v5 fight, and they lose their Luna and Ember in it.
Yeah, Gambit was in a position where if they could actually just win a 5 versus 3, then great. You could take Roshan with this Templar Assassin, and you could just confidently go for another team fight against Secret. Start pushing into their towers, start taking some map control back. But now, Secret,
they get it.
They win a fight just outside of the Roshan pit. They're going to get a Aegis for Nisha, unless Blizzy can pull off some magic once again. But Yapsor, he's going to wait and pop his Spike Carapace just as Roshan's about to expire on this fire.
Here I come.
Stuns him up. Puts the Blink Dagger on cooldown. Maybe they actually got the kill.
But
Nisha,
you'd rather have the other one.
Yeah, he's so low, but doesn't matter.
He's just going to right-click, and this is going to be the end of the fight here for you, my friend.
Well, they did get the cheese and the Roshan kill.
Okay, so they got +1. That's good, at least. Yeah, and you saw the replay before. Having no detection just kind of hurts. We saw the Batrider popped his, didn't hit the Glimmer Cape or the Invis Nyx, and then they went in, right? They popped the ulti on Luna. Guess what? All it did was hit Matumba Man because they had no detection. You need detection.
That's also why Matumba Man, when he got slept by Yol, he didn't pop his ultimate to get rid of the Nightmare, right? He knows he needs to save that for the Eclipse in these situations. That is something that Yol should try and continue to exploit, is the fact that you could just take Matumba Man out of the fight sometimes. If you find him isolated, just sleep him up and run at everybody else.
Look at this. What went from a few good engagements for Gambit turns into them just losing their base at 24 minutes. Secret style.
Trying to cut creep waves. Dream is even going to go and backdoor this mid tower.
We'll get it.
Swiftly.
Some gold. But unfortunately, you just lost a full set of racks. You might be losing 2 full sets because they've got a lot of heal, as we talked about. It is going to be bounty runes. That should be 4 for 4 bounty runes for Gambit. and all it costs is 2 tier 3s and 2 full sets of racks.
Here I come.
The Batten pushes.
With all, oh man, and you see Puppy, he still has his heal, Zai has his heal, you have Guardian Greaves. Pretty much they can full heal 1 full person on the team if they want.
Forward.
They won't lose 2 full sets of racks, I digress.
Okay.
They only lose the ranged racks bottom.
I'll
Looks
not
like
argue.
Secret, they want to possibly go back in. Yeah, Zor, he's waiting.
This is all because they cut that mid creep wave. Backdoor protection is up, but Secret with a fresh set of items, Heaven Halberd and Satanic. And now a Luna kill potentially.
Has to pop the BKB once Nisha ran over. Instead,
go.
they're going to turn it. Now GBK, he doesn't have that blink as we talked about, so he's going to get silenced up. There is going to be a lot of spells being thrown, but there's just nothing there. There's no tower to defend you. They've already taken it. GBK trying to turn around, but it won't matter. He's BKB'd up, so not taking those fire arrows. Eats the cheese and survives. And when you're just eating cheese to survive in your own base, it does not feel too good.
God, Puppy's so farmed. A Glimmer Cape and a Solar Crest.
Oh my goodness.
So he makes Nisha so tanky with that added armor. The attack speed, big benefit as well.
And now you have a Huskar who has a Satanic and the Heaven's Halberd, which, hey, self HP regen does go along with it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they're just, well, are they going to be able to backdoor down? It sure looks like it, and they get it. Still have a 2-2 tower top that more than likely we'll see him head that way now. But if you're Gambit, there's not much you can do. Dream's been playing it cool. He's been cutting middle creep wave multiple times, farming the jungle, just trying to get his gold.
Felt like Gambit did a better job in this game too of keeping the net worth relatively even for longer. But now it's just going to look just like the end of game 1 where they kind of have to desperately go and to run down lane, split push, anything they can to keep Secret away from that final lane.
Well, there is going to be a full MKB on the TA. We'll see how that works. Yapzor wants to get the kill on Batrider, and there's going to be the Carapace stun. He is pretty damn far away, though. And should be able to just run away here.
Okay, now just do
that. Oh my
that.
goodness, they found him. The stun almost hit it, didn't matter.
got a TP though.
And no stun from Yapzor. Oof.
Okay, just do that like 10 more times.
And then you have to win a fight after doing that as well. Win a couple fights. We'll see. He is queued up the rapier now on the TA. So pretty much all in after this MKB.
So I'd say, would you be tempted? Would you be tempted this far down to be like, I've already got the Demon Edge, like...
Oh, just skip the MKB?
Let's just skip the MKB. He probably has too many Heaven Halberd issues, right? There's enough evasion out there that...
All right, yeah, Matumba Man has his, Huskar has his.
Wait, what am I saying? We've got Divine Rapier gives you that full hit anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go for it, dog.
Well, it's more of you, the active though, right?
Yeah,
you get Halberded twice in a row, like, well, this stinks.
Let's go.
All right, they're pushing on this tier 2. I have no clue how you defend your base here, Gambit, but I am willing to learn.
Gone all in for some items. They do not have buybacks on their cores, so just Batrider does rather.
Let's see what happens. Dream, he is playing the front line, has the BKB SNY, so instead.
Status resistance mixed with the Paladin sword, so.
Another healing. No, Nisha, you see, oh my god, Nisha just full HP, pops the Satanic as we talked about. Gonna be fine because BKB by TA, and now you know you can just go back for 8 seconds and push in again.
The sustained offered by Zai with all these heals. mixed with the Heaven's Halberd, quickly brings everyone back up to near full HP.
Ooh, there is going to be the sleep, but no. Woken up by Puppey, and Nisha just continues to right click. They can't even push out this Huskar. Has the Satanic in 5. There's the Reaper. It isn't enough to kill, but that doesn't matter. They kill him afterwards. Blizzy dead. This game might just be over. GPK dead. Yep, there it is. And as you said, Gambit a lot better 1 through 15, maybe even 1 through 20 minutes. They were always behind, but it was a lot closer. But as you said, you've got to always be able to win 1 or 2 of those team fights at the 20-minute mark. And they got their
BKB timings, right? But we didn't see that like really big clash. We did see that engagement in the top dire jungle, but then like excess Vampire goes too far forward, and I think they in part underestimated there's the constant damage that Radiance was outputting from the tunnel, and they couldn't really fight into him.
So if you are looking at this, maybe not even as Gambit, if you're a team that has to play Secret tomorrow, what can you take from the first 2 days against the Secret lineup? Is there like certain heroes, their play style, or we've had a lot of time to dissect them, but feels like teams still haven't.
For a lot of me, it just says like laning phase, both for like playing against Secret. We saw in like Liquid, for example, they were able to deal with somewhat bad laning phases, still keep the net worth even, and then they hit the mid game really strong. But I think it's more important about your own lineup. Like you need to make your players feel comfortable with the game that they're in, and then all starts with a strong laning phase.
It does. So Secret once again a dominating performance. Who the hell can stop them? Well, hopefully the panel knows, because I sure as hell do not.
Thank you, Grant. It's a tough question to answer. Right now, it looks like Secret are pretty dang unbeatable. They crushed here against Gambit 2-0 on the back of a final pick Brood and then a final pick Huskar. Sounds kind of cheesy to me, but they certainly make it work. Now, what does this put them at? 18 wins, 19 wins straight? What's the streak at?
I'm not counting.
They had 15 in the tournament before, so that's another 4 that's in ESL. It's at least 19.
19. All right, they're getting up there. Now, Peter, was it as cut and dry as we all made it out to be after the draft? It looked like, you know, Husk, as planned in the mid lane, TA was going to struggle, but she can go to the jungle. She did.
Let's go.
Nisha took that opportunity to just start running, literally running through jungles and finding kills and then snowballing out of control.
Well, that is kind of how the Huskar TA matchup is, and the thing is, Huskar isn't really that fast or mobile of a hero, so you kind of just like, you know, he comes bottom, you leave bottom, or you kind of back up or hide behind your towers, and eventually you can find the Huskar kind of overextending. If he does at some point, and that's where you have opportunities to get back into the game. Their big timings this game were Luna and TA getting their BKBs, but we saw once they had them, they never really took like a good clean fight. They did that chase in the top jungle after they killed the Huskar, and then they kind of chased, and then they got turned on in that 3v5 scenario. That was kind of their big window there. I think that was just a little bit maybe just too overzealous of a play. What they really probably should have done in that situation is backed up and just prepared for the Roach fight. Because even if they managed to kill the Nyx assassin in that scenario, they still used their Luna ult, they still used their lasso. Secret would have been, like, Nyx could have just bought back, and then Secret could have just walked into Roach pit. And Blizzy made like an MVP play this game by stealing that Aegis, and it didn't look like much because he just got it and then died, and you're like, whatever. But what it did is it stopped Secret from going high ground for almost 10 minutes, and that allowed Luna and TA to get both their BKBs.
Yeah, we were kind of worried, like, okay, they're going to need a farm for 20 minits in the jungle on Luna TA, but they actually got the opportunity to do so, and Gambit were in a position where they could win this game.
I thought they were going to.
Yeah. It felt like it could go to a game 3. I think it was a similar thing yesterday, the game 1 against Viking GG, where I was like, yeah, this Gambit team looks good, but then something just isn't quite there that's lacking, that whether it's the shot calling, it's just they're not quite all on the same page. And
sure.
To me, this game reminded me of that game 1 yesterday against Viking, where it's like, it felt like they kind of almost should have won, and they just couldn't do it.
They just got a little bit distracted, and they were so excited to get the Huskar kill. They're like, let's get more, and then they just get distracted by Roshan.
Yeah.
You gotta play the most important things.
Did we get to see any sort of weaknesses there from Secret to kind of allow those opportunities to present themselves? Or was it just them taking advantage of their draft and looking for the holes as they present themselves, like the Huskar being a little overzealous?
They used the 22 pick or the final pick of the game with Huskar and Broodmother, which I would consider as like kind of like gotcha picks. Like they really can, you see all the enemy team scores and you're like, this is the pick.
Here I come.
I didn't feel like it was like a super amazing Huskar game. I didn't feel like it was a super amazing Broodmother game. But I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a weakness. I think if Gambit would have had better side lanes, I don't think they really understood how to utilize the Ember Spirit in both these games. They first picked it both games, and obviously it's supposed to kind of have a bad game, but its impact in both of these games was like, man, they made Ember Spirit look pretty balanced.
Yeah, with free rounds as opposed to like OP as we've seen from many teams.
They need to find a way to enable them, and then when you're playing on first pick, it's really important that you win your side lanes or at least go 50-50.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before as well. It definitely seems like a good mantra in the drafting, setting yourself up to be having a strong support staff, having something go right, whereas you might be squeezing out a rough mid lane at the end of the draft.
Yeah, because if TA has to leave mid lane because Huskar's forcing him off the lane, TA needs to go to the jungle, and if one of his lanes is just kind of losing as well, those supports or that core from that lane are going to start rolling towards mid into the jungle, and then TA is going to have like one little tiny spot of the map to farm, and it just doesn't work that way. It's the same idea as like when you pick an Alchemist or something. It's like, you're like, oh, you can pick Alchemist because he's going to have a good mid lane. What's really important is that his side lanes have good lanes. Because he'll just go back into the jungle and catch up. It doesn't really matter how good he does on his lane.
Indeed.
Gotta look at the big picture. Thank you for that insight there, Peter. And Parker, we are going to be cutting to a break, though. When we come back, it's time for our second series. We'll change things up in the casting front and the panel front. But when we return, it's going to be Navi versus Nick.
Die. Forward.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Snix.
I
think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy
Your
really,
mid-tower
really
ain't
goes a long
doing
way,
too
and
well.
it always means so much to us, and
Can't do
that's
nothing
where
about dire
initiatives like
structures
this
right now.
I encourage
Have
everyone in
fun
the
trying to
community,
bust down
anytime
radiant
they see
structures
boys
now.
and
Hate to be your mid-tower right about now.
I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck.
Bad news about your mid-tower.
Here's ice in your eye.
That top tower of yours ain't doing so good.
Nice. Fangs of ice. Swiftly. I move.
Your top tower's in trouble.
Let's go.
Almost ain't bad for your top tower.
Not yet. Agreed.
Illusion.
Agreed.
Your mid-tower needs a little help.
Swiftly.
Everybody loves an underdog.
The ice wolves bite.
What needs to be like?
Let's go.
Mountain Dew and Key Fuel. Victory in a can.
I'll not argue. Ah! My ice bites deep.
Settling in okay?
Yeah. Are you both, dead? Yeah.
Yep.
Into the breach.
Welcome to Lakeview, a digital afterlife environment.
Yes.
Inside, you're invading someone's personal space.
It's not done yet.
So I understand you were in a bad place yesterday. It's only weird if you make it weird.
State Farm is
I
announcing a
move.
Good Neighbor Relief Program.
No.
Click to learn more.
Every week, every loss, every close call, every
Your bottom tower's in a tight spot.
it drives me.
The Dire's courier
Every
made its
time.
final delivery. The Dire went and fortified their structures. The other fellas aiming to wreck your bottom
There's
tower.
nothing you and almonds can't do.
Everybody gather round now, one of a kind, coming to bid at $5, 10, going to twice.
That ought to help with those sneaks. They're meaning to smash that bottom tower of yours.
I didn't
Hate to
see that.
say it.
Faster.
Your top tower's getting all banged up.
To battle.
Your top tower's hurting.
Here I come. I
Your
thought
top
as much.
tower's in trouble.
Forward.
That's not yours. Your mid tower's coming apart.
Swiftly. I move. To battle. My heart.
Your bottom tower ain't long for this world. Just hang on tight. A fond farewell to your bottom tower.
Settling in okay? Yeah. Are you both,
Indeed.
Yeah. Yep.
Welcome to Lakeview, a digital afterlife environment.
This'll come in handy.
Enjoy.
The ads know us better than we know ourselves.
Not ready.
You're invading someone's personal space.
Almost feel bad for your top tower.
So I understand.
Radiant's toughened up their structures.
Into the breach.
Your top tower's hurting. Too bad about your top
I
tower.
thought as much.
Tough love.
Good neighbor relief program.
Not yet. On. Not ready. Let's go.
They're meaning to smash that bottom tower here. Think the gods are gonna help?
Rocking. Yes.
Find a fulgurite. Doubters will always have things to say about it. But guess what?
Agreed. Forward. I'll not argue. I move. Swiftly. Into the breach. No mana. Let's go. On. Yes.
Got a feeling things are gonna pick up real soon.
Forward. Faster. Here I come.
coming apart.
Indeed.
Them Dia buildings are tough as nails for now.
Welcome back to ESL 1 Birmingham 2020 Online. Ice Frog, where is the battle pass? Stop fooling around and release it. We want to spend the money. Anyways, we got a second series coming up. It is Navi versus Enigma. I'm back at my panel with fresh-faced Grant right off the cast, and I got PPD back by my side yet again. It's Enigma versus Navi, gentlemen. Neither of these teams got to play a Dota pit, so this is going to be kind of a fresh showing for them. Yep. I don't know if there's been a huge significant patch since the last time they played, but they've gotten to see a lot of other teams play. They've gotten to see a little bit of shifts in the meta. Yeah. And I'm curious to see what their thoughts are going to be. Grant, a couple of changes or just a change on Navi.
Yeah.
Why don't you go over that?
So bad he's going to be playing for Seema the Slayer, who has he's been around for a long time. That's a pretty big shoes to fill. I know I've watched So Bad play a little bit, but
What's going on with Seema?
It's a good question.
Let's go.
Nothing publicly.
Hit his Twitter.
With his
Check
model girlfriend or something.
Yeah.
A model girlfriend?
I mean, Peter, what are you doing?
How do you know about the
sitting
life
back
of
as
Seema?
well?
I'm connected. Yep.
Now this, I really do think Enigma should be fair, but like you said, dude, they have not looked good. Like neither of these, you guys, I mean, Peter, you are the team that broke Navi. I truly, when you guys won that 90-minute game last ESL against them, and then you beat them in 15 minutes after, and then they just lost every game after.
I move.
We were playing go out and win the game. You guys were just sitting in their face, like not even like we knew game 2 was going to be easy, by the way. They just turned it. That is a pretty common thing. You can't just
God, that's what it is this whole time. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's some people will blame or like blame the team for making some aggressive moves when they're behind, and all of a sudden the game ends rapidly. But you don't always have to, but you should.
There's shots you have to take, certainly. And like, in the last series, Gambit took that overzealous fight. In their eyes, they probably saw as if we do get this done right now, we can go back for the Roche, and that's how we get the game going forward. But that opportunity left. The game
come in handy.
pretty much closed after that. We got to see Navi if they could take those type of swings. But on the other side, you have these handsome gentlemen in blue, Enigma. Enigma have not had too strong a showing in the recent performances, certainly not at the level that we expect from these guys. So maybe some time off, maybe a little more rested. We got to see what we're going to expect from Enigma today.
I'm just curious because I mean we interviewed Kuroki last time and he didn't say we're not trying obviously, but he said there are more important things in Dota right now. And obviously if you go into a game like that, you're not going to be 100%. And that obviously was last ESL, which was about a month ago.
You said there were more important things in Dota or besides Dota?
Besides Dota. Sorry, yeah. Besides Dota, he brought up that he's like building the team and all that. So that was why they're shaky. Obviously, if they're still like that, then I'm not going to put too high of a stock on them if that's still the mindset. Because if you're a Dota team and you're not, as you said, just playing to win, having your mind completely focused on Dota, it's hard to favor a team like that. Even though 4 TI winners and a 2-time second placer, I believe, or something like that. I don't know. It just Enigma is so weird. How they can just go from that to that.
That's like a little
Sorry,
cooldown.
I think it's part of the reason why they've stuck together so long is because they believe in their potential, even if they're having a bad streak.
Yeah. I mean, we briefly mentioned it on that Mercedes pre-show yesterday. Maybe last ESL LA when the situation was pretty fresh and teams don't know what to make of the whole thing. Since then, Valve acknowledged TI is happening. We don't know when. It's going to be pushed to the future. At this point now, teams are trying to decide, like, okay, how in do we have to go on these games because they might start adding up and mattering future qualifiers that get into DPC points and get into yourself to TI. There's got to be a point eventually where it's like this might be more of the norm. We got to start taking these games a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I agree. I also think, oh man, what would happen? Say Ice Frog, when he releases the battle pass, says 2 months from now we're having TI no matter what. What would your initial thoughts be?
I would be curious how
I'm
they
not ready.
fight teams. Alright, they're just going to do a qualifier.
I
because
move.
the whole thing has just kind of been messed up
Yeah, it's definitely.
The answer is you'd be hyped, Peter. Damn.
Well, I mean,
Peter, stop being logical.
Curiosity is hype. Why are you trying to throw me under the
Curiosity
bus?
killed the cat.
Yeah, good one.
Curious George and the yellow hat man.
I'm glad Grant's here now.
Sorry, I wanted to check Twitter to see if the Battle Pass may have been released after I yelled it. Don't worry, guys. Not
Dude, I know people are excited for the Battle Pass, but I mean, during the last patch when they changed all the gold, right, they said there will be another patch with big balance changes, and that still hasn't come, so I assume that's like, it is going to be the Battle Pass and change some. I'm curious, because these teams know it's probably coming out today. Like, and they're like, well, we do still have to play this patch, but I think the whole game's just going to change again if they release that balance patch. It's going to be definitely interesting.
I'm not feeling out period, but again, with the gold post and where TI could be, we don't know how many big balance teams are going to go. Is there anything, you know, this is kind of like a common question everybody asks, like, if there is one particular thing that this patch that Ice Rock that let's just tweak right now, fix, is there anything that kind of comes to the surface of your thought?
Allow people to come back into Dota games more than 5% of the game. I understand you get a lead, you should be ahead, but there is very few comebacks nowadays in Dota. And I think it's just someone with the gold tweets.
Yeah, we've seen like a significant rubber band effect in the past where it's been quite dramatic the other direction.
Much, yeah.
So you feel like it might be tuned too much the other direction now.
I do.
And we got to find a middle line. That might be the case. Now, we do have a draft, so production, at your call, please arise the draft. As we have not
radiant structures must have been fortified.
Here a couple of bands
Them
that
dire
you know,
buildings
heroes
are
getting
tough as
bans that we don't see from anyone else, but you are going against Nigma, so therefore get the Wisp off the table. GH is just so damn good with it. Chen's got to go. Phoenix is gone. Sorry, Peter, we're not going to see like it. Again, he's the ban. DP. Quap! Quap.
That top tower
Dragon
yours
Knight's
ain't doing so
Dragon
good.
Knight's in the pool.
Is that hero been banned a lot?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, the Siege Engine heroes, these Death Prophets and DKs.
It's a list. It's DP, Dragon Knight, and Furion.
Not yet.
You said this list at least like 3 times.
It's
so I
because
certainly
when I was drafting my team, you'd always think about these 3 heroes and how early you wanted to pick them in the draft. Yeah. So you could pick them on your first pick, you pick it on your second pick, you pick it right
Here
there.
I come.
And then if your second pick, you could pick it on. Sometimes you can pick it on
Agreed.
anywhere because you can side lane them as well.
Major drop especially if you. Well, there's the DK.
I move.
Do you have a name for these heroes? Because I know you have unique names like the Castle. Or whatever
let's see here.
Swiftly.
For these heroes, you categorize them under this
Yeah,
special
well, I used to
label.
do like big like Word documents where I'd have like lists of heroes. I would just say
I like that.
They're like
I just said they're 9-pick heroes. Quap and DK were
Yeah,
always
just-
that you
Yes.
don't know your middle matchup,
like
you
a
pick them.
blind mid laner,
Yeah.
something like that.
The old trusties here.
But the important thing is that they push their tower. They push towers because what that does is it keeps the enemy team's mid hero there. So even if
I'll not argue.
let's just say it's like a lane counter to, or like it's a direct counter to all 3 of
Into
your
the
cores,
breach.
he still has to defend his tower.
Yeah.
And that means he can't mess up your other 2 side lanes.
Is there any
Let's go.
vulnerability though to now we see it at the start of the draft where they can find themselves in a situation where they just pick something that mega counters the DK
Forward.
in the mid?
Sure.
I know they can flex it off to the side lane, sure.
No, DK has some bad matchups that he doesn't want to be in,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. It was the Reddit post about the most played heroes in what position. DK has the lowest win rate of every off lane.
Here
so
I
when he's
come.
played in the off lane, he is at the lowest of the low.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if teams are really paying a lot of value or not to those stats, but that would just say like, okay, let's get a counter for this mid lane. Let's force DK to that side lane where he's not less.
The other fellas
that
can
is
see
stupid
that top
because
tower.
at least the way I think of it,
Think they
like,
get the
I think
picture?
DK is one of the
I'll not
easiest
argue.
and simplest heroes to play Dota. So like, if I play a pug and I'm like, hey, I want to play Fab, and you have 3 support players, this game. Okay. Let's see if it's a good Dragon Knight game. Because I'm going to play Dragon Knight. So, that being said, if you're playing off lane, your worst players that play off lane are going to pick Dragon Knight. Because you can just Dragon Knight's in the meta as an off, like Gork C is like, plays a lot of off lane Dragon Knight in his pugs. So So just saying.
It happens. I gotta be honest. I can't believe Keeper and Tusk are making it through all. I still think they're the two most broken support heroes.
Well,
I think they're broken.
Keeper has been, has he been banned before? I mean, it wasn't hot
just
like it
lost,
wasn't
man.
ESL LA. It was
Phil's
hot.
top
You know,
tower
him and
had a
Ember,
little accident.
victim ban nonstop. The start of Birmingham here, it's been not too much Keeper, but you know, last time Nigma played, it was certainly hot, so they pull it out here. And GH plays a phenomenal Keeper otherwise.
He does.
Yeah, but I feel like Chikalo's been more of a 5.
He is a 5, and putting it with Bane is kind of suspect. But it's like
You're at
It just keeps getting
you're at
better.
the sus list right now, or what?
I'm not a fan.
He's on it.
I'm not a fan of Coddle Bane as a. It's like you're only stun.
Maybe
it's like
A nightmare.
You know.
And yeah, like a non.
Let's give GH a
got
chance. See what he does on the Coddle 4.
Faster.
Chantra Scuba. This hero. This is the hero that's grown since like through all these tournaments and Chantra
I
has
thought as
gone
much.
up.
Just a lane. Yeah, I feel like he's just the best lane 5 right now.
Just right click
You
people.
either
Literally.
you either try
Into
clicking
the
with
breach.
this, would you have a level 1? But a lot of people are just getting the slow.
Yeah,
at
the
level
slow
1
and
because
Blightstone.
The slow is ridiculous. And then if you happen to get like a heartbeat creep or just
Swiftly.
like some hard camp creep like a Satyr or even any of them like Centaur or something, like the creep has so much
It's
HP,
just
you
over.
can't kill it, and you know you're just fighting like 2v3 in your lane basically.
I'm not super familiar, and I'll probably ask this for the other ones out there who are not familiar. So does that mean you just kind of neglect going the heal at all, or do
Yeah.
you get a value point?
You just buy regen.
You just buy regen and use that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Until like level 4, I want to say. Maybe in 3. I've seen 1-1-1.
Some people don't even get it.
Yeah?
It's
It feels like
you're-
it gets worse later.
You're position 5, so your goal is to make the enemy team's core in your lane spend as much gold on regen as possible. So you getting to your first bracer or getting to your magic stick doesn't really matter. Like just buy tangos, buy salves, buy a mango if you need mana.
Yeah.
And just keep that enemy team core from getting into his core, like his phase boots or his double wraith bands or whatever it might be.
Sand King.
All right, Sandy King over here. Not
So-
something we see a lot. Usually Earthshaker kind of fills the void, but here we have
All right,
Scorpion.
carry
We
on.
need an instant
I
disable.
move.
It's
The best Rubik Steel in Dota, but
yeah, it's an instant stun. Grant's right there.
Agreed.
The other fella's bottom tower. Nothing but
When the
fragments
heroes are
now.
popular, you always make sure Rubik goes out of the pool.
you guys picked it once last ESL sort
Yes.
of one other team. I mean,
Yeah, he's not particularly meta, but he is disabled.
There's no breaking down great destruction like this.
Sometimes your draft just needs that.
he's one of those heroes, right? Like nowadays, you used to think like, oh, Sand King counters like other melee heroes, but now you see people picking like AM versus Sand King. If you win the Sentry battle, he just free farms. I don't know. I've seen Sand King games, and it's just like everyone he lanes against kind of just free farms.
Your top tower's getting all
It's like a dark
banged
side
up.
almost.
I'm not ready.
Luna though,
Here I come.
is that bad? I actually think Sand King might be kind of good against Luna because Luna is a
Not yet.
short range hero, so he needs to come into almost
take
Sandstorm
you.
AoE to kill the creeps or to fight Sand King.
All right, so going with
Swiftly.
the Pugna, something a little more faster tempo. Obviously, heavy push.
I'll not argue.
And
This hero's been buffed a lot.
yeah, he's one of those sleeping
I
buffed
feel
heroes where
older
every patch
already.
is a little bit of something until eventually he gets the limelight and people realize, wow, this is much
And
more.
then he
I
goes
thought
back
as
down
much.
after he gets nerfed.
He's also a very versatile hero. He has decent attack range. He has wave clear and nuke to secure range creeps, and then he also has really high movement speed, which lets him play in the offlane. sometimes.
Agreed.
Some people even play him as 4 just because he is kind of a strong laner.
My
Sure,
eyes
we see
spike
actually
deep.
I almost feel
right,
more
Sox
people
this
play
year.
him as 4.
Yeah, we've been seeing him a ton.
And they play him a lot
heal.
as 4.
Yes.
Soxa plays him a lot as 4.
Owie loves playing him a lot for the NA side.
As you said, wave clear and save, right? Like that's name another support. There's not many who can do that.
Yeah, they have decent damage, and Rubik gets some,
Faster.
I guess, steals from back there this Pugna, but somebody's decraft, you still have a Luna Beam, you have Fire,
Into the breach.
Fade Bolts.
Yeah. Feels like a lot of pressure on the Sand King still to set things up for everyone else.
I
Bane-
move.
really is.
Bane can do some setup, and the Sand King will also have, he'll be able to counter-initiate on the call wall. So
Indeed.
when they all go to kill the egg, or they're getting sucked
True.
in by the egg, that's going to be the epicenter blink arrow strike.
Yeah.
But don't you have to wait till like
Indeed.
level 2 ultimate since the
Yeah,
level 1?
yeah, for sure, but that's team fight, right? That's
Yeah, it
tower
is.
defense.
Even
And
having the ward too from Pugna, it's like now you have a ward and you have the Coddle ult, and you could have like a Fiend stripping Bane. You have to deal with all of these things.
the ban is. It's got. What's Miracle playing?
Let's
As
go.
the hard carry. Is it Terrorblade?
Hard.
You mentioned it earlier against Luna. Terrorblade. Could
That's
be good.
true.
Yeah. They have a
I
Coddle,
move.
so it's a little bit of synergy with the Coddle. True. Very true.
They ban it. Yep. See you.
Or a Gyrocopter was like a go-to in the past to
Agreed.
pair with the Coddle as a core.
What happened to that hero in the
Gyro-
last 2-3 weeks? It just like it
Yeah,
was
he definitely
big,
fell off
and
the
then he
face
just
of the
fell
earth.
off. No nerves.
I just felt like Sumail.
His brother played
Into the
well.
breach.
But yeah, I didn't really see a ton of value in it, to be honest.
It's one of those cores people were okay first picking because like
Here I
it'll just
come.
do its job, I guess. I don't know, and they just stopped picking it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it against
I'll not
Rubik
argue.
because you go to lane and once you get fade bolted as gyro, you already have really low attack damage, and then you're hitting for like your flax are like doing like 20
Swiftly.
damage each or whatever.
DK too. I mean, Breathe Fire. They won't be
Yeah,
maybe
you're
in the
not
lane
wrong.
together, but just having them both in the game, you're going to be losing a lot of damage.
What if they
My eyes spike
okay,
steel.
Rubik off lane?
It's gonna be the
it's
mir-
over.
No, it's gonna be Miracle Nakes.
You think?
Man, I don't know. Sure.
On.
You like the hero.
Yeah. Well, Slark. I mean,
He can deal with the Fade Bolt at least. He can be able to kind of shrug off.
It's good against
damage
offlane
stuff.
DK, but they're just gonna put DK mid now and
Yeah.
pick a new offlaner, probably
Fangs
some
of
Rubik
ice.
and
Ice
Slark
maiden.
is gonna get spammed with spells. And
Forward.
I don't know if Bane is gonna buy a headdress to try and help him with the damage he's taking, but I don't
I
think
thought
their,
as much.
their safe lane looks too strong right
because
now.
you can't even play your safe lane in the off lane. No matter who you go against, Rubik or Enchantress, you're just right click.
Yes.
Like 100% of the time you're in lane as a Slark, you're just gonna get right clicked by any of these heroes.
To battle.
Well, let's see what they decide. Do they want a new mid laner or do they want a new offlaner?
Indeed.
Expanded range. Deal with the Coddle Bolt.
I move.
Yeah, you just want Slark to not be able to play.
Swiftly.
It's not the best. I mean, obviously, right. He's one of those dudes. You just give Slark a bunch of agility, but you do have the team fight disruption. You do okay in lane. It breaks all of their stuff. There they go.
Alright, so they are going to do
This will only hurt.
We assume.
or they're gonna put DK in the safe lane and try to
Yes.
go aggro,
Ooh, with the Luna, yeah.
which they could do because I don't think Midwest Challenge is too
Ooh,
great.
fasty.
I don't like the idea of putting DK in the offlane.
Into the
versus,
breach.
Slark Bane.
Yeah.
But Rubik does offset a lot of strong
Let's
safe
go.
damage, so maybe the Fade Bolt plus the Breathe Fire damage Slark gets for those.
Agreed.
You do like to see, I prefer to see this, right? Because Magical does have a certain set, right? It's like Medusa, Storm, and TA, and Sniper. Those are like its 4 heroes. Out of all 4 of those, as we talk about, we don't want to just see you sit in base and farm up. This is probably the most active. I like it, honestly. I just don't like Nigma's draft. I think they might be the better team, especially Navi with the stand-in, but for some reason, I don't know. I hate their support duo as we
This'll
talk
come
the
in
Bane,
handy.
Coddle. I just think Sand King's not a great hero, and
I'll
Slark,
not
I think, is
argue.
an awful hero.
Anyways, I think we have 2 pretty good teams here. I think it'll be a great match.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see if our casters are just as hyped up. Let's throw it their way now, where we have Gods and Capitals to bring you the action.
Here I come.
Your mid tower's done.
I'll not argue. Forward. It's not time yet.
That's
I
right,
move.
Nigma versus Navi. 2 very big organizational names, but it's been Navi who have been kind of on the come-up.
Let's
Gods
go.
and Nigma have been suffering a lot lately.
Yeah, I was surprised, checking some of the win losses, and they're under 50%
Here I come.
over like the last month of games. That
Yeah.
is pretty unheard of for this team.
Yeah, considering
thought as
how
much.
consistent that they've been throughout the years, especially when it comes to their TI performances, but we'll see
Yes.
what the people at home think. They're still backing Nigma. Fan favorites for sure, but
Into the
I
breach.
feel like when I've been watching Navi, seems like they're getting better and better each series that I watch them.
Are you liking so bad on this team? How he's been doing?
I haven't actually seen him.
Playing.
I haven't seen him at all. He wasn't playing with them for the Gamers Without Borders, where Navi did manage to make it into the grand finals of that tournament, but like most teams,
Swiftly.
they got swept by Secret. So
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of getting 3-0'd by Secret at this point. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I would consider Na'Vi at least slight favorites here, like maybe 55-45. Because of where the current teams are with their trajectory. But as is always the case with Nigma, it's all about the ceiling. Like when this team plays their best Dota, they're top 3 team in the world. They're TI winners.
Do you feel like this draft enables them to play their best Dota? Because it does seem like it is a little bit abnormal to what a lot of others.
Agree.
Yeah, a very clear game plan. Like the first 4 heroes, you're like, well, this lineup doesn't scale. It's going to be like this. Let's try and set Miracle up with a solo character game. That's going to be the game plan for a while now.
Is it cold in here, or is it just me?
Give Na'Vi even slightly more of an edge based on the draft. But ultimately, I think you've got Miracle playing a hero who plays on current game.
Not ready.
You know, I don't consider it's like a top meta pick, but it's the right kind of hero for
Let's go.
And it definitely feels like they're going to need the proper lane setup to get this lineup rolling. And that starts with being able to shut down the GP by having Sorcerer against it. Having this a little bit more widely same key into the tri-lane. So they did manage to get that matchup.
Here I come.
Yep. It's good news for them. This is potentially going to set Miracle for success if you're Na'Vi. It's very difficult to change these lanes. Once you guess wrong, they are going to start by TPing GH up top. That's actually. So they're leaving Slark down here alone. I'm not so sure about this connection. But the Slark versus DK matchup, he needs some support though. So I guess we're expecting Bane to now match and TP bottom. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I think you want the Bane specifically. He doesn't have moves like the build that we saw from Lovely earlier. I think you are one of the better fighters to kind of deal with that harassment.
And ultimately, Slark also not going to be here that benefits much from having the Chakra in lane, while Sand King can use that mana a lot more effectively once you get to level 2.
Yeah, for sure. Even just being able to cut down the timing on your level 1 Sandstorm, where you don't have it constantly up, could be helpful. Our mid lane matchup, well, we're going to watch bottom a little bit real quick first, just to make sure that Miracle's going to be okay, because he may not be. He's going to be followed into the trees. Nice block there. Cutting down the tree to be able to get just in front of Miracle, blocking out the pounce. Really well done by Caution.
Yeah, and I think most of the time that offlane will be blocking that big camp, but because of all the lane swapping from the supports, you're maybe not going to block with a ward, you're just going to body block it. They weren't actually there, and Enchantress getting a Satyr right away at level 1 is insane. You can't lane against that Satyr as a Slark. And something the panel mentioned, you know, Slark maybe will struggle against the DK plus Rubik. I think the same applies to the DK plus Edge. This is a hero that will just dominate and crush the lane, regardless of the fact that Slark is a good lane counter for the DK.
And they were so busy fighting that Kuro did not block it again. So now he's bringing this Hellfire Smasher to lane.
Yep.
That's not going to be great for Miracle or Kuro. Chance onto Kuro, slowing him down. Follow up with the clap. Just doing a bit of damage to force him back. See them do a bit of chip on as well.
They're forcing out a lot of regen. Very efficient trades down bottom. That's a fantastic start for them. Even not getting those follow-up kills, you see all the damage they're dealing while not using any of the regen themselves. So things going absolutely fantastic for them. And even these other lanes look pretty good for them as far as just the overall CS.
Into the breach.
Our mid lane matchup is Weehaw against Magical, the Pugna versus the Storm Spirit. Definitely in the top 10 of Magical's played heroes, but one of his least successful at the same time. Pretty decently below 50%. Mind control at the top lane. He's going to be in trouble here. GH, not a ton he can do, just throws out the damage, but it's not enough to move so bad. Back. Nice showing for Na'Vi, getting their second kill of the game.
Lane being one with the first blood, now top lane also being one. Luna getting good farm as well. Mr. Observer, there we go. Perfect. We've got some last hits and farm being popped up here. We is having a good time today. That's one lane we haven't taken some of. I would assume by the puzzle they can match up maybe 50. Okay. I think it's pretty fucking
yeah, because like the benefits of Storm Spirit is eye armor, but it's just completely and if Weehaw can get level 6 before him, then you can actually get a kill.
I'll not argue.
Yeah, exactly. If you
I've got it.
I mean, that's just misdirect. You hit level 5, just jump.
Let's go.
Don't take the risk.
Bottom lane TK, top farm. Right.
The other fellas will have to drop out their bottom rags.
Half the
Jump. Top lane onto Crystallize here. Just a burrow strike that's only level 1. Doesn't really accomplish that much, but they did push him back well enough to be able to plant a sentry, kill the opposing sentry, and Mind Control can freely sit in his Sandstorm now.
Yeah, good old Sand King lane. So much of it is about that sentry battle.
Down you
That was a
go.
cheeky glyph mid to keep the creep wave alive. I guess expecting Storm to maybe go and try contest or grab a rune, since it was the 5-minute mark, and just flipping the wave to
Into the breach.
damage.
They couldn't really hold him long enough for Miracle to get a pounce on anybody, but Weehaw is here now. Level 2 Decrepify, slowing down Ilias, and he could just keep on going.
Faster.
3 levels to the Nether Blast. That might be enough. No, the Fairy Fire actually keeps him alive.
Not yet.
Crow's not going to be able to catch up either. That was a rotation where Storm Spirit was able to play out the mid lane. He now has his level 6, and they didn't manage to get a kill. Kind of a rough one there for Nigma. Now they're going to lose the Courier as well for free. So bad. He's just
not ready.
Couriers give so much gold. With all the gold changes and the nerfs to different gold sources, Couriers have gone untouched. That was like 60 gold each.
What's with all the
everyone,
scribbling?
so.
Let's say like been spamming Weaver for quite a bit. Yeah. And like every game, I demand to have a ward so I can place it somewhere between the safe lane, tier 1 and tier 2, because it feels like it's so much of an advantage. It's simultaneously keeping carry, getting us reach in, the big gold that you're talking about. There's a lot of benefit to the sniping couriers. You've seen some teams really try and take advantage of that. More aggressive.
Yeah.
Solo puts like a pretty heavy on that as well.
Yeah. Definitely a big thing that support's taking note, but at the same time, I think a lot of side lane core players, top laners, carries are learning and getting much better about bringing out their items. Something that previously mid laners just had to worry about. It used to just be mids getting their courier sniped. Now it's everyone.
Now a safe laner will like pull it to their tier 2 and then tell their support, yo, go get my items for me. They're back at the courier at the tier 2 tower.
So a lot of stacks being done here. One of the things Cuddle, of course, well known for. Rubik trying to come in, blocks one of them, but not the other, and may actually have overcommitted here. Definitely has.
So you've got all this information about the stacks. For me, can Na'Vi actually put a stop to that? Can they invade and take it? I'm not sure if their lineup really takes advantage of that. I feel like that all that extra farm is going to be free for the Pugman Sand King.
Yeah, it seems very tricky, and theoretically they've got the heroes that can with like Storm and DK, but it would just require a lot of resources to go to one specific I think they want to prioritize more so the tier 1 mid tower and even the tier 1 top towers. You take that tier 1 mid, then you can of course have full access into that end.
For sure. I think like it might just be a bit too risky. You know, like making that kind of maneuver when you could just focus on farming up jungle yourself. You can always get some stacks, match those there.
Yes. And Max is going to go very well. He's already got the max out Sandstorm, so he's not going to get the quad stack that I was hoping for, but he's just going to go farm it.
I like the rush onto Blink Decker, so we see Weehaw dying. Magical showing up. Level 8. Nice little it's I like the fact that Mind Control's rushing into the Blink Dagger. Feels like this is going to be a very fast-paced game that Nigma are going to need to take over really early on between the Sand King Pugman combo.
Yes.
So I don't want to see a veil, basically. I don't want to slow down our game at all.
Yeah, I'd love to see them just fighting constantly as 4 with the Sand King Blink, just creating space for Slark to farm up his early whatever, probably Diffusal, Shadowblade type build. And then once Slark gets those items, then he comes to the party as well. They don't want this game going super late. Slark is like their only carry, and it's not going to outscale it. They want to create enough space for Slark to catch up, but then also get Slark in
much like last game of the Luna, we are going to be seeing a Helmet Dominator build.
Forward.
The popular way to play, all that percent bonus damage. And
Magical jumping onto Weehaw here. Doesn't have it disabled to be able to stop that brain sap, but so bad it's able to get the telekinesis. That's enough to be able to push Weehaw back.
Faster.
Don't get a kill, but they save their tier 1 tower. All important. Especially since you have 3 basically independent cores, right? If you can keep that mid tower up alive for as long as possible, to kind of protect your jungle areas.
I think both teams realizing how important they are. They're rotating DK in for this one. Weehaw in some trouble.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised they're trying to be so aggressive on the side of Nigma without pulling their Sand King into this situation. Looks like Mind Control had rotated mid, but he didn't have his Blink Dagger yet, so he wasn't really ready to go.
Perhaps, I mean, that wasn't even the DK. He wasn't the reason Pasha died there.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Oh,
Here we go for it though. Pasha, see if they can blow him up with all this magic damage. It's not quite enough until the blast comes in from GH. It did cost them a number of ultimates there, the Epicenter as well as the Will-O-Wisp.
All right. And again, it's all about keeping these tier 1 mid towers alive as long as possible. You don't mind those big ultimates being committed because it keeps the tier 1 alive and quite likely sets you up to take the enemy tier 1.
Weehaw's here to run it back. If I know anything about Weehaw, deaths do not deter him. He's going to keep playing this way. Now that he's got his team to back him up, it's going to be a lot more successful. They'll take that mid tower and claim the Rubik's Flank as well.
That 10-minute Blink Dagger. Na'Vi were not ready for that. It completely caught them by surprise, and as a result, they get 2 kills and a tier 1 mid. That's huge for Enigma.
Great read by Magical there. As soon as Mind Control disappeared from the mid lane, he backs off. TP's over the mid, and now they're going to be able to catch Weehaw. They're just outmaneuvering them. Weehaw thinks that he had a little bit of a cushion for safety. Oh, he'd already pushed them away from the mid lane, right? Mind Control hasn't showed yet, but Na'Vi just with a hard read of where Nigma was moving around the map.
Such a tricky game to play these non-movable heroes because there's a Storm on one side, a Blink Sand King on the other. You get punished so easily for being even slightly out of position. Something we've seen, unfortunately, for Weehaw a couple times in this mid lane, pushing up a bit too far. Perhaps knowing that there's lots of heroes on him, it does mean Stark is getting a lot of space to farm it, to get his kind of catch-up goal, which we're seeing him slowly climb up. Not a hero.
All 3 wars. Continue that sort of split. Like Pasha rotated once in the mid lane, but otherwise they've been keeping their cores all separated in all 3 lanes, all of them farming at once. Feels like they've got a lot of fires to put out all at once.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's all really on Mind Control. It feels like it's tanking, having that early blink down. They can just play one without it, but
Personally, honestly, maintain a 2-1-2. That's exactly where Bane is most powerful, right? Let's sleep on one, Bean Script on another. They were able to get that pick up support, but looks like Pasha wants to be able to hold this safety tower for a bit longer. May call some reinforcements here. Looks like Magical. A little low on mana, but does have a chance to make those. They want to make this really defend.
Storm Yuzu's not Ideally, if you're not keep that team up on the line. It's the most important tower on the map, but it still feels stronger with Will-O-Wisp on cooldown. But they just don't down.
Taking that tower, Nigma go for a dive.
There we go, he's found the Alpha Wolf. That's always what you're looking for in this league.
I move.
All that juicy bonus damage.
Look at that, the side ward. Have you seen this one, the Radiant Jungle? That's not on the main cliff, but on the side, so the sentry doesn't see it.
I thought as much.
You need some actual high ground vision or fly a courier over there or something to be able to spot that ward. That actually saves Magical.
Swiftly.
It's pretty crazy how value supports are that have a way to scout
Pasha! Did he just juke him out? He managed to juke back into the trees, but Crystallize is going to be the target from Nigma instead, and they're going to turn back knowing that Pasha juked somewhere over there. Magical's going to show himself, but not quite enough to be able to finish off Miracle here. He tries to lay down, but now he's been caught in the Bean's grip. A double stun. Mind Control is going to be able to catch him with the Epicenter. Not quite enough to finish off Magical, though. He gets a helping hand from so bad with the telekinesis and the Chakra Magic he stole earlier. Pasha, still very tanky, but they're going to focus all their magic damage damage on him now that he's been isolated away. So close to Nigma, like almost wiping Na'Vi. If they'd finished off Magical there, that would have been a massive team fight. Instead, looks like they're going to catch Zobat as he sticks around trying to pull the creep wave off the tower with Fate Bolt. But you can't really do that against the Blink Sand King.
Yeah, this Blink Sand King, they've just got this crazy magic burst. Any hero showing up just gets blinked, stunned, nether blasted, life drained, and gets taken out. Na'Vi Storm committing his mana to go in the Slark there, and if you can't actually burst him before the Shadow Dance, he basically uses more than half his mana pool, and Slark just resets the fight.
Yeah, look at Crystallize. He thought, like, oh, I can turn this on him with Eclipse, but he shows himself for a second. 2 seconds later, he's gone. Yeah, you know, it's a rough life for this Luna. Plus, it's a level 1 Eclipse. Really not that effective in bigger team fights with so many units out in the field.
Yeah, like all 3 to 4 Nigma heroes kind of shared the damage, so it wasn't going to be enough for them. And really well played by Nigma, just understanding like this is a good timing for us. We're pretty strong here. And unfortunately for Na'Vi, they just pulled in, baited in by the Slark who they thought they could kill. And
across the map, knowing that Nigma, they kind of have to move Pugna and Sand King into the same area with some supports behind them, and just try and abuse that. I think their timing is much more in the mid game when you finally get BKBs and such.
And even if Rubik is dying to like Fade Bolt creep waves on towers, like that's okay. That's your 4 position, just creating space for cores to farm. Like you just want to try and stall the Nigma push, which is something I think the big reason Na'Vi's losing fights is that they're trying too hard to defend these towers.
Miracle going in deep here, trying to finish off so bad, and the helping hand from Weehawk will be able to do so.
They've already taken all 3 tier 1s, so they've got so much access to the Radiant side of the map. So many pickup opportunities. Radiant very careful. This is where it doesn't look easy to on the map for kind of greedy each Na'Vi lineup.
Yeah, Pugna, like, Weehawk's died a couple times being very aggressive, but he has done a good job stopping DK pushes. Bottom lane, Mind Control tries to go for a kill onto the Enchantress, but finds 4 heroes instead from Na'Vi.
Quick fingers by Rubik, stealing the Bar Strike. Really nicely done. That's a big turnaround kill.
Meanwhile, Pasha on the other side of the map, he did bring that top tower quite low, was denied by
Into the breach.
They are coming for him, though. Bane does have Fade Script, Kuro.
Here's ice in your eye.
Looks like no Heaven's Halberd this game for Pasha. He thinks that rushing BKB is the play, which I'm inclined to believe that's the right route, right? With 2 heavy dealing, magic dealing cores in Pugna and Sand King.
Yeah. I think he's dying to those heroes, and even like you look at the supports, the Bane, the Coddle, there's more magic damage. Those are a bigger problem than the Slark. The Slark had a rough laning stage. Yeah, he's now nearly top of net worth, but I think you're with the BKB, you're addressing 4 of the enemy heroes. With the Halberd, you're just addressing 1. So obviously you're addressing the one big carry, the Miracle Slark, but I think the BKB
down
totally
you
fine.
go.
Hey, I think your timing is more around that, like 25 minutes, where it's fully mid-game, you've got BKBs, and the Slark isn't quite that.
This one,
he doesn't take over the game just yet, you know?
You can go back to the Halberd later once.
Indeed.
When you're versing a 3-4-slotted Slark that's unstoppable, that's when you want to have the Halberd.
Sure. Fuel Scepter for Mind Control Sand King, making that hero solve some mana regen problems, but also makes him even more elusive than he was before. Certain things like being able to dispel dust while keeping your Sandstorm up, or just allowing you the time to get off your Blink Dagger. Double Blast. It's one way to pick up the tempo.
Continue to spam out these waves and apply pressure to towers.
The ice will spike.
Na'Vi just taking that tier 1 tower top, but it is Nigma trying to start getting to work on these tier 2s.
Into the breach.
Looks like while Pasha may be here, well, he's kind of setting up. He does have a Blink Dagger, so maybe they'll actually go for a fight. I just didn't think they would, simply because kind of closing in on Bloodstone for Magical. Crystallize is getting a tower, doesn't have BKB yet. So I'm surprised they're getting heroes that are close enough to get caught like this in the first place if they're not actually going to take a team fight. Pasha easily surrounded by so many heroes. Now Crystallized has blown his Eclipse. Hasn't actually killed anybody just yet. A Burrow Strike comes out from Mind Control. Clone him up even further. So bad with the stolen Burrow Strike now has stolen Life Drain, but he may not get the chance to use it as the magic damage is too much for him to handle. While everyone is low, or at least a bit low on the side of Nigma, nobody is actually finished off. Magical couldn't quite kill him.
Yeah. Nigma just have way too much team fight with the Will-O-Wisp up and the Sand King. It's like, how do you find this? They didn't even need Epicenter this fight. They just run in, Sand King catches DK with the Yules, Enchantress slightly out of the base here. They're behind, they're ignoring the tower, and they're doing this because they know now we have nothing. They've got this way greedier lineup, this Luna that needs a BKB before you can fight. As a result, yeah, Nigma just feels super confident.
And it's now the second time the Miracle has gotten away on less than like 200 HP in a team fight.
And that's a problem. If your Storm's committing, his initiation needs to kill a hero in that scenario. If you can't, if you don't have the damage to kill the Slurp, you need to be going on someone who you can kill. The Coddle, the Bane. Probably the Pugna is the big problem. Just his damage output combined with the saving potential. I think he's probably the better target for Storm.
My ice bites.
So curious to me because it felt like they were two different lines. Magical is very clear. Team farm. I almost have my Bloodstone.
I'll not argue.
And Pasha very clearly was setting up to either wanting to take a team fight or maybe cut into the stop. Out. Either way, he gets caught.
Into the breach.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because he's sitting there in those situations but it might have like okay, it's like minutes to initiate his stun and he just setting up his team so he doesn't blink in the sun. I think he realizes like, okay, he can't actually blink DJ. I need to sit here and wait to see what happens, like you say, to catch someone TPing out. If Nigma take the tier 2 tower then split up, or they, you know, they find themselves a scrappy fight, that's what Na'Vi want. They don't want a full 5v5. They want these scrappy fights.
Now with the Shadow Blade on the Sloring, he thought about going S&Y earlier, but this item turning to Silver Edge against the DK, but also is a really good pickoff item for the Storms here. Is split pushing Mind Control. Finds an opening stun onto the Luna at first, while the Storms here tries to jump in, but it's immediately Nightmare stalled up a little bit. He has the damage to finish off this Bane, but the trade-off for this Luna is certainly not worth it, as that magic damage overwhelms her HP pool pretty quickly, and Miracle's not going to back down. He starts stealing away some stats from Pasha, knowing that he's got Mind Control and GH that can output the damage for him that they need. All that magic damage against DK, armor and regen. Miha even finds Ilias on the backside as well. He's going to be 3 dead on the side of all they traded away was Burrow's Bane.
They're heavily outplaying them right now. Na'Vi,
the other fellas lost
not
the
quite
tower.
playing their lineup straight.
They must be plenty sore.
Seeing some of the struggles here as a result. This Luna pre-BKB can't really easily afford a team fight. They don't have that good hero to kind of frontline for Luna to keep her alive. The DK, it feels like, just melts with this just straight Blink Dagger until he is a BKB, is not going to be a good frontliner, so good execution so far from Nigma, and they're just looking to keep it up. While they're taking win these fights, Miracle continuing to farm as well.
Na'Vi, are they gonna go again? I just see 4 heroes grouped up in mid, so I thought maybe they'd go for a smoke or something, but Crystallized, he's already far enough behind. They're gonna lead off, okay. That's a decent Lucent Beam into a Centaur stun with the Storm jumping in. They can't quite finish off Kuro just yet. His life is gonna be stalled out quite a bit, thanks in part to Weehaw with a nice life drain. Miracle getting in, a nice 3-man Burrow Strike out from Mind Control. Really nicely done with the grip onto Pasha. Pasha is gonna die to that Brain Sap, and Kuro stays alive. Jump back in. The Eclipse is not enough to finish off Mind Control as he uses the Yule Scepter to be able to dodge all of that damage.
Yes.
And Storm is dead.
Storm gets caught by Mind Control at the end too. So a beautiful team fight from Nigma. No doubt. They played that really well. Weehaw with a save of both the Life Drain and the Decrepify to keep Kuro alive.
2 Decrepify. He, at the start, Storm, when he zipped in, couldn't get any right clicks off. Then at the end, that last impetus.
It's not time
just,
yet.
Yeah, crazy plays from Weehaw there. And
Ice, take you.
I don't know. Na'Vi, you kind of look at their lineup. They do rely on the right-click damage a fair bit. The Eclipse, when everyone's grouped up on the Nigma side, it's just not going to be able to win you the fight by itself. And
double damage.
And at this point, the BKB timing of the Luna, it's going to feel very lackluster because Nigma is so far ahead that I'm sure they're just going to be able to disengage off of some sort of BKB Eclipse.
It's always tricky to use your BKB against these insta-stuns. Sanking
I
is
thought
very
as much.
popular because he actually plays pretty well into BKBs with that insta-stun. If you have to, if you want to run in as
Agreed.
Luna, it's like you have to pop your BKB incredibly early. And they've also got the grip, which goes through BKB, of course. So
Indeed.
you have to always save some kind of disable for the Bane.
And Keeper of the Light is
Here
a
I
really
come.
good follow-up to Sand King, right? They've
Yeah.
got some great synergy. Sure, you can Chakra Magic and lower the cooldown of Burrow Strike, but Will-O-Wisp is such a long-range AoE disable that it can follow up a Burrow Strike initiation really nicely.
To battle.
Make sure they don't get off those BKBs. We've got to watch Pasha. Up into the high ground, and down he goes. Nigma really well positioned, completely block Na'Vi as they try and rotate in, losing 2 before they stay.
Agreed.
Speed right now. Struggling to find their place in the map. And a big part of this is just how many early towers they lost. I think that move mid and Sand King having that 10-minute blink dagger had such a big impact on this game because instantly they get the tier 1 mid. Those side lane tier 1s so much easier to push, and Nigma had all 3 tier 1s down in like 15 minutes this game, and as a result, it's just been so much harder for Na'Vi to get access to farm on the map.
Now we've got the
I'll not
Silver Edge
argue.
for Miracle.
Yep.
So Pasha, he already looked so squishy before, but if he gets Dragon's
go.
Blood cut out of his system, then even
Where's their
that
damage
physical
coming from? Like the Eclipse is
Attack.
now playing into a pipe, so Nigma have a great way to block the majority of this Eclipse damage as well. So it just feels like they're going to have serious damage issues in
To
these fights
battle.
as well. Storm doesn't really blow anyone up that easily. DK's
I'll
walking
freeze
blink
it
stun.
back.
Feels like a good job is kind of initiate, but what's going to follow up that blink stun?
Here I come.
I think you're in full kind of split push and dodge fights mode, but Nigma's pretty good at punishing that with
Both
heroes like
teams
Sand King
biding
and
their time.
theoretically Bane, but still
Indeed.
able to play around it.
small juke to right for a long jump away for Magical. Does not get caught by that smoke rotation. Nigma, though, they're going to try and catch into the mid lane instead. They do so bad. He managed to get the deny on the tower, so it may have actually been worth his life considering that hefty bounty.
I move.
That was both given to Na'Vi and taken away from Nigma, but they need to make sure Crystallize doesn't die. GH, well, he's got the Will-O-Wisp to follow up onto that pounce. Here comes Mind Control with all that magic damage. The epicenter Burrow Strike blows the Luna up pretty easily. Magical actually gets caught, doesn't get a zip away, and now quite low on mana as well. He's going to die before he wakes back up. Almost disabled.
Agreed.
That moment there feels like that's kind of the nail in the coffin. Luna, 200 gold from BKB, gets picked off. Storm trying to bail her out. Dives in, gets picked off as well. Na'Vi still drag standing, but catching up her long. Weeha even pulling mana here. He thinks about Pugna as well. Not just the heal bot, but also mana bots. A lot hard to get mana than health in Dota as well. So the fact that mana regen and health regen are pretty insane on this hero.
Down you go.
DK finds a repair kit,
Breaking
but
down the radiant structures like this. No breaking through
Not
the
much is going to be able to repair this 18,000 inward lead that Nigma has built up. And now if he can test the DK, high ground again.
Chalk it up for the
Spending a little bit of time in the jungle is going to be found by Weeha. No chance to blink away. Well, maybe he actually can. Nobody there from Nigma. Weeha, blink for blink, but Pasha does allude to the left, spotted by Miracle.